guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Just finished watching the match and Barcelona beat Girona in the Catalan derby at the Montilivi by 4 goals to 1. Lads, we're cooking! We're absolutely cooking. I cannot believe my eyes. I thought I was pretty confident we'd win this game. Not by this margin. I thought it would be much more of a tighter game, much more of a closer affair. But Barcelona absolutely, purely, and utterly dominated the entire 90 minutes of this game. And Lamine Yamal is going to take all the credit and the press and the PR because he's of course scored those 2 goals in 5 minutes in the first half. Now the starting lineup for this match is on the screen for you right now. It was Ter Stegen in goal, a back 4 of Kounde, Cubarsí, Inigo Martinez, and Alejandro Balde. Midfield 3 of Casado, Pedri, and Olmo. Front 3 of Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, and Raphinha. No surprises, no big news in the lineup there. We thought maybe Eric Garcia would come in for Casado, but he did of course give the nod to the youngster. Look, let's talk about the goals. The first one from Lamine Yamal is a mistake from that Espanol twat in David Lopez. Lamine Yamal controversial finish. Second goal from Lamine Yamal, cross came in from a free kick, headed away, dropped him right at the top of the box. Calm, cool, collected finish, bottom left hand corner. That's just fantastic. Third goal was Dani Olmo golazo. Beautiful ball over the top from Jules Kounde. He's on a very tight angle, Dani Olmo. No one in the box, no Lewandowski, no Raphinha. Just shoots it across goal. I guess Gazzaniga didn't really cover his angles. Gazzaniga didn't cover his angles too well. Goes in 3-0. Fourth goal, sublime through line pass from Casado to find Pedri, rounds the keeper and buries it. I mean, from the first minute, our intensity, our pressure, our composure on the ball was absolutely fantastic. For me, the team performance today is a solid yet again 8 out of 10. There were a few things I didn't like in that first half. The first was how much some of the players in the attacking third held onto the ball so much. I'm highlighting a lot here Dani Olmo and Raphinha specifically. They'd get the ball, they'd hold it so long, and then they'd either lose the ball, they get pressed by Girona, they end up falling into a counter. Sometimes they actually they go back and they get the ball back, which again, I guess you cancel each other out, but they held onto the ball way too much. I want to see more fluidity, more quick decision making rather than them holding onto the ball and taking their time. I understand they're kind of risk players and they want to do that, which makes sense a little bit, but I wanted to see a bit more of quick going. Decision making again wasn't the best in the final third, despite scoring 4 goals. It could have been much better. I think, to be honest, if we scored the chances that we created, you're looking at another 7, to be honest. Lewandowski missed 2, Raphinha I think missed 1, Pau Victor missed 1. I'm thinking minimum we should have scored at least 6. So I guess shows how well the team is as a unit. I think, build up play, possession, holding the high line, tactical wise from Flick's perspective, it was damn near perfect. But again, when you're lacking the ability of players in the final third, sometimes stuff doesn't really connect all together. But the team performance, 8 out of 10, sublime. I just love watching us play. Very reminiscent of what we saw when Xavi first came in November 2021, where he had that kind of big boost. We're kind of seeing that now here, but this is kind of more of a complete side because Xavi's side then was just pure shite. Now we're seeing good players perform at that level and just makes it way more enjoyable. Now in terms of player ratings, boy oh boy, do we have some belters. Ter Stegen in goal. This freaking twat, man. The issue that I have here is 5 games, 1 clean sheet. That kind of sucks. We used to win a lot of games 1-0, so you'd get the clean sheet in the end. We almost got the clean sheet, but Ter Stegen making a stupid mistake. Made an absolutely sublime world-class save in that first half. The penalty, of course, he never faced it. Apart from that, it was a pretty quiet day for him. I'm going to give him a 6. Yeah, I think the grid save and then the mistake kind of cancels each other out, so I'll give him an average 6. But could have easily been a 7 today if he didn't make that mistake for the 1 goal that Stuani did end up scoring for Girona. Jules Kounde, for me, of course, had an assist. I honestly think his performance was probably like a 6.5. I'll bump it up to a 7. I think when he went at center back for that final 20 minutes, he looked great as well. So that's great to see that he can really adapt to those positions very well and very quickly as well. But typical Kounde performance. Again, going forward, just wasn't really the best, especially in that first half. But second half was kind of more composed, kind of stayed back a bit more, let the front four kind of cook in those areas. The ball at the top for Dani Olmo was great as well. But of course, the fact that led to a goal was even better. I don't think he saw that coming, of course. But I think Kounde defended very well going forward. A bit meh. to be honest. Sometimes he lost the ball, didn't really connect well with Lamine Yamal too much. Sometimes he did, of course, sometimes he didn't. So give him a 7 out of 10. I think he was pretty solid. Kubarsi, probably give him a 7 as well. Thought he played really well. The composure from him in the back line was fantastic. That tackle on Danjuma as well, just before halftime, they called the hold lead, was fantastic. Didn't really put a foot wrong, and it just shows again the elite composure of a youngster like him at 17, especially in the back line where things can, turn sideways very quickly. I thought he was brilliant. Alongside his partner Inigo as well, he did play the full 90. I really want to give Inigo an 8, but I don't think he was quite an 8. I'll give him a 7.5. I think Inigo is a great representation of a natural, hard rock defender. Get stuck in, clear the ball. Of course, in possession, he's great as well. That's why he's a Barcelona center back. I think his composure on the ball today was very good. Distribution was strong as well. Didn't make any mistakes whatsoever. When in doubt, boot it out as well. Didn't really want to think twice about anything. Intercepted a lot of crosses. His aerial duels won were fantastic as well. Again, since that stinker at the Mestalla, he's really been performing well this season. So credit where it's due to Inigo. I've been absolutely happy with him, apart from, of course, the Mestalla match. So I'll give him 7.5 out of 10. Balde for me is the tricky one, man. I think overall Balde played well, but there are so many key few moments where if he just waited or did a cross and send, the decision making could have been even better. I'm gonna give Balde a 7. I think overall you have to give credit where it's due. He had some fantastic recoveries, great link-up play with Raphinha down the left-hand side, especially in that first hour. But again, final third, decision making. I'm talking about specifically when it was 0-0. He was running down the line. He was wide open. I think Francis, the right back, was, in no man's land. He had Lewandowski and Dani Olmo for a cutback wide open because David Lopez was attracted to him. I think David Ben was on the side with Lamine Yamal. They both were open for the cutback, and he went for a freaking shot. And that was at 0-0 at the time as well. So, of course, as the game went on, we won, so it's like whatever. But during then, I was absolutely fuming. Also in the second half as well, decision-making from him and his crossing isn't really the best either. Again, I talked about this a lot with Balde over the past 2 years. When he has to cross, he shoots. When he shoots, he should cross. Once he fine-tunes that, we are set. Hopefully under Flick, what we saw with Flick he did with Alphonso Davies during the COVID time and their sextuple. Hopefully he'll kind of implement that with Balde. It's just the decision-making with him. Once he sorts that out, I think he'll be sound. Midfield, I think Casado, firstly, 7 out of 10 again for him. I think he was fantastic. I think on the ball, he was brilliant. You know what? Okay, I'm going to give him an 8, especially with the assist that he gave and how difficult and how good of the assist it was. I'll give Casado an 8. I thought he was brilliant. Winning the ball back easily. I think more importantly, composure in the first half in possession. He really held the tempo down because a lot of times, like I mentioned already in the team review, how Raphinha and Dani Olmo were losing the ball a lot. Sometimes they won it back, but when they didn't win it back, who was winning it back? It was Casado. Second half again from him was fantastic as well. He's kind of shown why Flick made the right decision in choosing him over Eric Garcia to play alongside Pedri in the pivot. I thought he was brilliant again, and this is why we wanted him to stay after, he was going to be leaving Barca Athletic, either renew and stay the first team or go out on loan. We all want him to stay, and this is the reason why. We can identify talent very, very easily. He's just a fantastic player, so sturdy, so reliable as well. Hopefully, there's still more room for him to grow and even become better than he is right now. So 8 out of 10 for him. Probably will have to give the same to Pedri as well with the goal. I think his performance, Pedri was a 7. Give him a 8 for the goal. I think with Pedri for me today, I loved his. This is the really main theme here today, but composure is very important, especially when you play away from home. You have to have the the cold blood to make sure you don't make any rash decisions. Don't let the atmosphere and the occasion get to you. So many times in the first half where Pedri was the conductor, right? So Casado win the ball back, find Pedri. Pedri being the one making decision making. Should I go out wide left to Balde, wide right to Yamal or Kounde? Do I go through the middle to Raphinha or Kounde or Olmo? Over the top to Lewandowski? All the decision making that he's making those decisions in 2 to 3 seconds, and it's always been right. I think in the second half when he got a bit more freedom because Girona were looking really vulnerable in the back line, he looked so good. So many opportunities where he's found passes in such small and unbelievable areas. But again, for example, when Lewandowski missed his chance, there's a nice 1-2 flick between Pedri and Raphinha, stuff like that where it's just a world-class midfielder doing that. No one else can do that. Casado maybe can execute that. Whether he does it in a game or not is what remains to be seen. So Pedri for me again was fantastic. I will give him an 8 out of 10. Dani Olmo, I'll probably give him an 8 as well. I thought he played really, really well. Even take away the goal, I think without the goal, I would have given him like a 7.5, very similar to like Inigo. But with the goal, I'll give him an 8. Of course, the goal is just ridiculous as well from that kind of angle. But I guess he's proving me wrong, so to speak. Because I always, again, I rate Dani Olmo. I think the price for him was fair. I think he's definitely a Barcelona quality player. I just didn't think we needed him now. I've always been saying that he's a luxury signing. He's kind of a player that you already add on top of a team. But he's proving me wrong, man. He's showing how integral he is, how different and how much of a different outlook he is in the final third as well. His vision is sublime as well in those tight-knit areas as well, especially when you're facing a very, very constructed and narrow back line. Find those spaces is always very, very difficult. We see Pedri a lot of times over the past few years finding it difficult to find those spaces, but Dani Olmo just makes it seem so easy as well. His footwork is also really, really good. His dribbling is ridiculous. I mean, he's just a fantastic player, and this is why he's one of the nominees for the Ballon d'Or this year, so I will give him an 8 out of 10. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. We'll go on the right-hand side with Lamine Yamal. I will give him an 8 out of 10. Should I give him man of the match? Is that kind of boring? I really don't know who else to give man of the match from apart from Yamal. You know what, I'll give my man of the match to Casado. Let's just be a bit different. But I think Lamine Yamal was definitely 8 out of 10 as well. The 2 goals and 4 minutes, of course, pretty much secured us the 3 points. Before that, he was getting a bit lackluster down the right-hand side. His decision-making wasn't the greatest as well. His crossing, he always made that extra step, and then he would lose the ball, which is very frustrating. Once he got those 2 goals, kind of unlocked him. He looked a bit more free, and then that way he wasn't losing the ball so much on the right hand side. But his explosiveness, his dribbling ability, just makes him so threatening down that right hand side. I'm not taking shots here at Kounde, but if we had an attacking right back, for example, hypothetically, first name that came to my mind, Trent, free agent 2025. If you have a Trent with Yamal down the right hand side, holy shit. Oh my god. All Kounde lacks right now is the ability to deliver balls in good areas consistently, making good runs, and being able to shoot. You give Yamal a right back who can do that, maybe Cancelo from last season, for example. Oh my god, that right hand side would be scary. Scary. But again, that's a different topic for a different day. Lamine Yamal thought he was great today, 8 out of 10. Rafa, El Capitano on the pitch when Ter Stegen's not around. I'm going to give Raphinha a 7 out of 10. Look, I said this in the live stream, so I'll say it here. We saw today the Raphinha from last season. Build-up play, execution, composure, dribbling, link-up play, everything. From the Barcelona defensive half to the final third, he was great yet again. But in the final third today, he lacked decision-making. Great example of that was in the second half. He's running down the right-hand side. He has the opportunity to sweat it to Lewandowski and Pau Victor. What does he do? He holds on the ball too long. Tackle comes in. Corner kick. We saw a lot of that in this game. And when Raphinha is on it and his decision making in the final third is on point, what does he do against Valladolid? Scores a hat-trick. Again, like I talked about with Balde, I'll say it again here with Raphinha. Once he fines tune, and I said this a lot with Raphinha last season, once he really hones down and is, accurate in his decision making in the final third, he will be one of the best players in the world. The issue is that one day he'll make the great decisions, and the next day his decisions are all over the place. Even in the first half as well, so many opportunities where he should have passed to Lewandowski. He'd go out wide to Balde. The cutback around the defense for Lamine Yamal was open. He'd go, easy to Balde. He had some good link-up play with Balde as well. I want to give credit to where his dude down the left-hand side. It looked really good in that first half. But again, with Raphinha today, for me personally, it was decision-making from him. Again, link-up play, defensive work rate as well. Sublime, as he always is. But again, the decision-making in the final third to me was the bit of the issue. And finally, RL9, Robert Lewandowski. I'll give him a 6. Should have scored today. He missed 2 very, very clear opportunities in that second half. First half was quite quiet from him, but again, everything was going down the wings. It was just Raphinha, Yamal, Balde, Kounde, cross comes in, drops to Olmo. They reset it, so not really much came to Lewandowski, so that's why you could have said, okay, bit of a graveyard shift for him. But second half, he was way more involved, and he, of course, had those 2 clear-cut opportunities, the 1-1v1 that he should have scored. The link-up play for that goal would have been disgusting. The cutback where he tried to finesse it, tried to roof it. He had some opportunities there. I think he should have scored for sure, but with a striker like him, you win some, you lose some. He played his 100th game today for Barcelona, so shout out to him. 63 goals, 18 assists in 100 games is ridiculous. Ridiculous stat. So shout out to him. He's performed over the course of his time at Barcelona. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe the rest. So today I think it was quite an off day for him, but hopefully he'll be back during the week against Monaco and Villarreal. Now, in terms of substitutions, so we saw a lot of subs today. We saw Pau Victor, Ferran Torres. Ferran got a red card. By the way, I don't think that was a red personally. I mean, he stops on the foot, yes. That should be a yellow. That's a yellow week in, week out. That's not a red. Is supposed to be an ill-intent foul, an attempt to deliberately hurt the player. It's like studs up on his ankle, rolls, high boot. That's a red card. On his toe, a step. That for me is not a red card. I doubt Barcelona will win an appeal. We'll see how long the suspension is for him. I think it's a 1 to 3 game ban, so we'll see on that. So Hector Ford came in, Eric Garcia came in, Pau Victor came in, Gerard Martin and Ferran. So of course, Ferran got a red card. Gerard Martin came in for like 2 minutes, whatever. I want to talk about Ford and Eric Garcia. I thought they both played very, very, very well. In particularly, Eric Garcia got a bit caught out for the Stuani goal, but that's again, he didn't expect Ter Stegen to absolutely fluff his lines. I thought Eric Garcia looked great in possession, had some good tackles, looked really calm, cool, collected. I really liked him in that area, so I can't wait to see him as we go further into the spell. Of course, Casado and Pedri can't play every single game. You're gonna have knocks and stuff like that. So having that option of Eric Garcia is really, really good. Also, Hector Ford as well. His first minutes since when, the City game in preseason. I don't think he's played since. So he came on for half an hour. We saw Kounde, of course, shift to center back. I thought Ford looked really, really good as well. So again, we're seeing the players adapt, playing well, and adopting to the philosophy of Hansi Flick. And speaking of Hansi Flick, final rating for him, I'll have to give him a 9 because we played well. Substitutions were great as well. 4 goals, champagne football. I would say clean sheet, but it's not his fault. I mean, Ter Stegen just absolutely fluffed his line. So if Girona scored like a good goal, I would have mentioned it, but I don't want to fault Hansi Flick for Ter Stegen not catching the ball in his box. So again, Hansi Flick is just doing everything right now. He's got the whole entire fan base on side, and again, he has the likes of Araujo, Christensen, Fermin, De Jong, Gavi, all out injured. So when they come back, he's going to have a fat headache in terms of squad selection and also an abundance of quality at his distribution. So we'll look forward to see how that turns out. But overall, very, very ecstatic, very, very happy. Great way to, tailor end the weekend. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this match review. If you did, of course, make sure you drop a like down below, and of course in the comments down below as well, let me hear your thoughts on the match, your player ratings, manager rating, thoughts on the performance as well, and of course make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barca.